Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Cutting Edge Install podcast brought to you by Omnicubed, where innovation it meets installation and literally absolutely everything in between. I'm your host, Merv Campbell. I'm the general manager here at Omnicubed, and it's an honor to have really special, awesome, wonderful craftsmen to come on the podcast and talk a little about themselves, a little bit about the business. We have Sal from Argo Tile and Stone, who I am very, very privileged to meet this morning. We've had some interactions online. We've met at trade shows. He's well known throughout the industry. And so I hope this next 30 minutes is going to be a blessing to me, as I know it will be, but more a blessing to others to learn more about this wonderful craftsman and what he does day in, day out. So whether you're on the job, whether you're on the road, or whether you're just looking to stay sharp, you've come to the right place. So welcome, Sal. It's good to have you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So my name is Sal. I am the owner and operator of Argo Tile and Stone in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. I'm a second generation stone man and have been in the business for, I've opened my business since 2016. Mm-hmm. My family had a marble and granite shop growing up called VAP International from 1988 to 2010.
Yeah.
They had a 20,000 square foot building on 2 acres, which housed full-scale fabrication shop, indoor and outdoor tile and slab storage, and we had a very large showroom, and which I did a water jet floor. Looks like a peacock.
Yeah.
And like the feathers of a peacock. So
yeah.
It was a centralized circle that grew and grew and grew like a peacock's feather.
Wow.
With 3 different stones.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
That's awesome.
That water jet was actually something that we pieced together. Back in the day, my dad thought that buying a machine, buying parts instead of putting a machine together was the right
was the way to go. Well, that's awesome. That's so cool. So you're saying you're a second generation.
Yes.
Obviously, that means there was a generation before who worked hard and diligently at this. How long were they in business? Are they still in business? Is that where you got your passion for this from? Or let's kind of go back in time a little bit and kind of learn even more about that.
So back in the 80s, my dad was a general contractor, and he had a few friends in Italy, and they said, "Oh, Joe, since you're in the States and we're here, let's do some business." And one day, 20 containers showed up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And they scrambled to find a warehouse. They found a warehouse, and just started fabricating pretty much right away.
Yeah.
In '92, they switched buildings. That's the 20,000 square foot building that I was talking about. And they scaled up in 2003 and started building on top of the warehouse office area, and they built another 9,000 square feet of warehouse of office space.
Wow.
Where we ended up renting, and we never actually moved up there and used that office space.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah,
So continual growth.
Yeah, it was good back then through the 90s.
Yeah.
To the early 2000s, and then 2008 happened, and they took out the hefty loan in order to build the warehouse, the showroom, the office area,
block. Yeah.
Right? And they weren't able to keep up with that loan, the balloon payment at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
the
a story
market crashed, and the banks wanted their money.
They like to give it, but they don't let you have long until you've got to pay it back. That's for sure. Yeah, that 08, 09 was a real, it was a hard time for a lot of people. But I think what it did was it built a lot of resilience and a lot of inner grit and determination. Let's get through this. Let's push on. which we benefit even from today. So that's awesome. So kind of going more into you and what you're doing. Obviously, you are, if anyone has seen any of this man's work online, he is a very crafted, skilled man, very skilled. Some of his work you look and go, is that even possible? Like, what's going on here? An inspiration to me, and I'm sure to many others, but kind of, we live in a day of technology. We live in a day of everything's got to be automated, got to be fast. How has like technology, like CNC routers or laser templating or whatever, kind of changed the way that you work, even in the last, 10 to 15 years?
Well, since I don't have a shop, we still do things the way that we did them 30 years ago.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
But what I can say is that the handling equipment that we have now is much better than before.
Yeah.
And thanks to Omnicubed, with their vacuum suction cups and slab savers and seam setters, those things were non-existent 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And
totally.
It's made our lives much easier.
Well, that's a blessing. That's good to hear. No, that's cool. Yeah, that's why I kind of threw that question in, knowing maybe what the answer might be, because when you actually go online and check this guy out and know that he doesn't have a shop, but yet all this wonderful work happens. Yeah, you're a very, very skilled man. So kind of getting into the industry, like stone, tile, heavy, dirty, whatever. Put a tag on it, however you want. But what do most people get wrong, Sal, about the industry in general, about people like yourself, even manufacturers of tools? Like, as the more you talk to like the sort of general public, what do they get wrong about us guys, as I like to call it?
Mm-hmm. I think the general public thinks that what we do is easy, and unfortunately, it's quite the contrary.
Yeah, totally.
What we do is very difficult, and if not executed correctly, then a lot of the times you have one shot.
Yeah,
especially with slabs.
Yep.
You really do only have one shot with slabs.
Yeah.
And once it's down, it's down.
Oh yeah.
You're not lifting it up. You're not moving it around.
Definitely
especially if it has any adhesive on it.
Yeah, that's sad when you see pictures of beautiful pieces of natural stone. Yeah, exactly. That I was literally going to do that. Yep. When it hits the ground and is no more, there's a tear appears in your eye, and it's like, oh no. But yeah, that's why tools are important, and that's why, like, even not even the stone, but like we're talking even about thin material and tile, like keeping people safe, because this stuff is like razor sharp when it breaks. Yeah. So it's quite dangerous.
We've had some close calls. I've even had some close calls in the last couple of years with, breaking pieces. They do break. It's inherent in our business.
It is.
Especially when we're doing floors and, we have a giant L-shaped piece and you have three guys on it and maybe one guy doesn't hold his grabbo right, or, they pull and you're pushing.
Yeah. Good communication is key throughout
Absolutely.
All industry, and especially when you're installing any sort of slab or tile, that's for sure. Okay, a little bit about you, personal level. Obviously, many people will not know your sort of day-to-day or what you like, but I like to throw this question out. Is there a particular book that you've either read or listened to that you've benefited from, both even just... Like for me, I like to just sometimes read fiction or, murder mysteries just to like get my head out of different spaces and just like kind of veg on a book. But is there a particular book or genre that you've read that, has helped you even in your business, or just being able to like chill out?
I'll be honest with you. I haven't read a book in its entirety since 2009.
Wow. There you go.
I need to get more reading in my repertoire.
Yeah,
but it was Kurt Vonnegut, Slaughterhouse 5.
Okay,
I read it in high school, and
there you go.
I remember not reading it all the way through in high school. So I did read it after after years, and
Yeah.
it was a good book.
Yeah.
That was about the bombing of Dresden, and
Mhm.
it's like a it's a fiction piece, but
Yeah.
there's also
Based on reality. Yeah.
based on reality.
Yeah. No, that's funny.
So,
Yeah, you say about not finishing books. I have a habit sometimes if I'm halfway through a book and it's like, I don't really want to read this. I'll just flick to the last chapter. Be like,
ah,
yep. If it's a murder mystery, who done it? That's all that matters. Let's forget the bit in between. But kind of getting back into normal day to day. Was there ever a time, Sal, that you were like, you know what? I've had enough. I just want to walk away. I want to do something different. What kept you going? If obviously you're still doing it, so you haven't walked away. But what keeps you going? Like, what gets you out of bed? What keeps you motivated? What makes Sal tick?
well, I have experienced burnout, and
Mm.
I've been kind of experiencing it lately.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, the first time I was thrown a curveball was when I first opened,
Mm-hmm.
and I originally started my business as a showroom. I
Okay.
I didn't want to install off the back,
Uh-huh.
and um, I dumped a bunch of money into this building, and I fixed it up. I had a few customers, and I made some good contacts.
Yeah.
But after a year, I was kicked out,
Okay.
and they sold the building, and I had to either make the decision to quit
Uh-huh.
or keep going. And so,
Okay.
since we were contracting jobs out of the showroom, I ended up just being a helper. And
Uh-huh.
being a helper, you learn everything about the
Yeah.
trade.
Oh yeah.
And I was a helper on both sides. And growing up, I had always done something. I did my first tile job when I was 18 in
Wow.
Chico.
There you go. Wow. That's
Yeah,
funny.
we did a lot. We did that whole house. I think it was maybe a 8,000 square foot house,
Yes.
one of those giant guys. But
Yep.
I digress. Um, I
Oh, you're
think
good. You're good.
what
Don't worry.
what keeps me going is my determination to finish strong.
Okay.
I get into a job, kind of knowing what the outcome is going to look like
Yeah.
as soon as I get there, just
Okay.
from seeing their materials. And
Yes.
um, so putting it together and just seeing the finished product is what keeps me going.
Keeps you going. Yeah, and that I appreciate your honesty there, because I think even in the days that we live in, there's a lot of people facing burnout, and a lot of people are, because things are so volatile and the market is moving so much. It just seems like every day comes with new challenges. Like we're on your side of the business, on like our side of the business. There's never like a kind of gradual moving up or even moving down. It's this like roller coaster, and it can be quite difficult. And I know, sadly, as men, we tend not to tell people how we're doing or whatever else. And this is not a plug for anything else, but if people are struggling, like talking to someone, grabbing a coffee, even what we're doing right now. Now that I know that about you, I'll be like, "Hey, Sal, how you doing? How's things going? How's the next job?" And I think in the stone industry and in the tile industry, there is a camaraderie and a bond between all of us. Like you see it at trade shows. I love whenever guys meet each other, like in the hallway or in like at a booth, and they're like, "Oh, Jimmy, hey, Sam," and it's like high fives and hugging. It's so needed.
Oh yeah.
And so, if anyone is listening to this podcast and they are struggling with something, go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
We need all our gifted craftsmen to stay and do what they do, because sadly, there's hardly anyone behind coming up, that next generation. And so, yeah, we got to look after one another, which gives me my next question actually is, we have gifted people now. We have wonderful craftsmen, wonderful tradesmen. But how do we help the next generation? And if you were to give like one piece of advice to someone following in your footsteps, what would you give them? What would you say?
Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty.
Yes,
because
good.
because if you have any apprehension at all about what you're doing, you might as well not do it.
Yeah, totally.
So don't be afraid to make a mistake. Mistakes can be fixed.
Yep.
I mean, you may break a piece, but you can get another one and replace it.
Yeah. No,
Or you may install a leaking shower. That's why you test your shower pans.
There you go.
But everything can be fixed.
Yeah.
And I think that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Not to be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. Fret not and fear not. Yeah, there's a lot of people don't want to get their hands dirty. I see that everywhere. You see it too. Everyone just wants to play video games and stay at home, and it's hard work. This industry is very hard, but it's probably one of the most rewarding. I remember when I first started in this job here that I was asked a question, what's the number one room in the home? And I'm thinking, what? What are you talking about? And they were like, oh, it's the kitchen. And I'm thinking, what? And they were like, well, everyone eats there. Everyone meets there. It's where everything gets thrown on the table, the keys, the wallet, the phone, everything. And so if craftsmen and skilled men and women can create beautiful kitchens, it just gives a home that warmth and just that central point of the home. And so having it beautiful and having it look really, really good, it only helps. But yeah, don't be afraid to break anything at all. So in your work day, in your like schedule, you talked there a little bit about when you walk into somewhere, you can kind of see the finished product. You can kind of you're a visionary. You can see how things are. How do you ensure precision? How do you ensure quality? How do you ensure that like the customer isn't coming after Sal with a finger going, you didn't do what I asked you to do? How do you ensure all that, Sal?
Well, first of all, I collect all of the information I can prior to the project, whether it's measurements or the actual stone selections, and I'll do a drawing, and that will ensure me at least a picture in my head of how everything is going to lay out. But to ensure everything, I prep everything myself, whether it's a bathroom or a backsplash. I make sure that it's free of any valleys or big humps or in backsplashes. And in bathrooms, I take everything. I like to come into the project with studs and subfloor, and then I can remedy from there. So remedying being shimming or sistering studs on. We also do mud work, so paper, lath, mud, and that ensures that all my spaces will be plumb and level.
Okay, so you basically start from the stud and work your way out.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Some men are, no, I want everything done, and all I want to do is put the material on the wall, and it's like,
yeah, sure.
That doesn't work that way.
Then you fight the wall or fight the floor the entire time. It's not
totally
not really worth it.
Not worth it.
You have a 8-foot slab, 8 foot by 6 foot, and your wall is sticking out in one spot. It's going to pick up that high spot, and you have a crooked.
You're fighting it, and you do get that. My wall's not straight. What's going on? Yeah, you get that customer.
Well, that's the bad part. But also, when you spread thin set, it's supposed to be spread evenly.
Yeah.
And when you squish the piece on, it's supposed to be the thin set is supposed to spread evenly on the piece as well.
Yep. Totally.
So if you have a point in your wall or a point in your floor where it's sticking out, now you've created a void.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
totally.
don't want that.
We don't want that. Nope,
Not in the wet area.
that's a no-no. We don't want that.
Yes.
So we're basically talking about, going back to the studs, building it out from there. You're in control. You're able to manipulate and move and make sure everything's good. So is there any like specific tools, or is there any specific like techniques that you rely on? Maybe not even like right now, they're just kind of embedded. And so you just go with it. But if you were to like stop and ponder, is there anything, even over the years, that you've learned, even some little like tidbits, maybe to help someone else who's listening here, to maybe do their job better or more efficient, or a tool that you would recommend to do that?
There has been several techniques I've picked up over the years, and actually, social media has helped in that respect because the
Uh-huh.
people I've met over the years have
Yes.
have shown me so many things, told me so many things. Going to events like even at one of the mud events,
Uh-huh.
one guy had some mud on a hawk, and he picked it up with his trowel,
Uh-huh.
tapped the top of his trowel on the hawk,
Uh-huh.
and showed me that the mud would not slip down the trowel.
Wow.
So that was like magic to me when I first
That's
saw
cool.
it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, the techniques I use for plumbing and leveling is,
Uh-huh.
I think, pretty cool.
Yeah.
We use a spacer when doing go board or any
Uh-huh.
boards. We use a foam spacer,
Okay.
built with foam,
Uh-huh.
and they're different thicknesses. It's
Okay.
like a two inch by 1 inch foam square
Yes.
that you purchase in different thicknesses, 16, 8, and so on.
Yes.
So in a space, in a shower, I'll go to the longest wall first. Put my 3D laser on the inside of the wall so that the y axis of the laser
Uh-huh.
is shooting along the face of the wall.
Wall. Yep.
And then I could go from points to points. Usually I go top, bottom, and
Uh-huh.
middle,
Yes.
and see where the laser's sitting.
Okay.
So I can tell, by the furthest out point
Uh-huh.
to gauge the distance of the laser to the stud,
Uh-huh.
and then build off of that, and then plane that all out.
Wow. Wow.
And that works very well. We've been doing that method for the last couple of
For a
years.
long time.
Yes,
That's
and
awesome.
between those spacers, we'll load up the studs with thinset
Uh-huh.
and put the board on all at once.
Yes.
So we use a 4x8 board, and so we're getting like pretty much a wall done at a time.
Wow.
Which saves
Yeah.
lots of time. And
Like,
saves lots of time. And the traditional mud way is fast,
Yep.
but it's very dirty.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's it really depends on the installation itself, because sometimes I am forced to do mud. Like on the last project, the contractor stapled a sound barrier, which is like a rubber roll.
Yeah.
They went from stud to stud,
Uh-huh.
and I had quoted that project as boards.
Uh-huh.
When I got there, I found this rubber material on the walls, and
Yeah.
I told the customer, I'm like, I can't adhere my
Material to
my
this.
boards
Yeah.
to this wavy
Rubber.
wall now,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
now I have nowhere to shim off of.
Uh-huh.
So what was an $80,000 job turned into a $95,000 job because of all the mud
Wow.
work. And
Hey,
it's is what it is.
yeah.
But
So we're constantly learning, Sal.
yes, constantly
That's what
learning.
we're picking up here. We are constantly learning. So one thing, if someone who is kind of new to the industry wanted to learn more, what's one bit of advice, or where would you tell them to go, or what events would you tell them to go to learn more and to gain some of these skills?
Well, honestly, going to all the events is is should be part of your I don't know. I want to say repertoire again, but
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it should be part of it.
Okay.
I I am a part of the Mud Board, and
Yes.
every year we do a event called Mud,
Yeah.
and this year I'll be in at the Fusco Industrial Supply
Okay.
in Arizona, in Mesa,
Right.
Arizona,
Yeah.
and there we'll be doing CTI testing and
Uh-huh.
ACT testing for those
Cool.
who want to become a certified tile installer
Uh-huh.
or have already gotten their CTI and want to take some advanced
Trainings and stuff.
trainings. And
Cool.
the advanced training is mud walls and mud floor. And
Awesome.
what's funny is that I learned doing that first.
Yep.
So that being advanced is kind of strange to me. It should be
You're like,
part of CTI.
this is the norm. So
Yeah.
if anyone wanted to find out about that event or wanted to learn more, where would they go to?
You could go to the Mud Event page on
Okay.
Facebook, and
Okay.
we have our RSVP open already,
Yeah.
and through RSVPFI.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, and I would highly recommend it. These events they're good for a number of things. One of them would be camaraderie. So you build up your repertoire of people who are in the industry with you, and there's many times you can get caught in a difficult job, and you're like, oh man, if I only had someone to give me advice. Well, get as many phone numbers and business cards as you can at these events. And that's one thing. It's a brotherhood. We're here to help each other. There is that care for one another. And one thing I really appreciate, like you've kind of given away some, as you were, top secret information on how you do things, but that's what they do. They tell you, they teach you, they train you, they give you this advice. It's not this, it's all mine, you're not getting it. No, there's a care for one another. So please, if you're listening to this or watching it, go to the events, go to trade shows. Hopefully we'll be there with you at Mud. So, you can come see me. Go see Sal, learn from other people. One thing, pay attention. There's little gold nuggets that are thrown out during these events that are priceless, that are absolutely priceless. So, but you got to be there to hear it. So, make every effort. Kind of getting back to you, Sal. What's your morning look like? Everyone has a different morning. Everyone has different ways they do things. How does Sal prepare for the day?
Uh, I drink hot lemon water and
Nice.
with ginger.
Uh-huh. There you go.
Detoxifies the liver.
Oh,
I used
man.
to be an avid coffee drinker, and
Okay.
I would dump a lot of sugar in it. It was affecting my health. So
Okay. So you went for the hot lemon water. And
a lemon water. There you
there
go.
you go. So if you see Sal at the Mud event, get him a hot lemon water. Get him some honey squeezed in there and call
There
it
you
good.
go.
What's something that people are surprised about Sal? Like when people maybe don't know you, get a little bit more to know about you, what they go, whoa, I didn't know that about you.
I designed most of all of my swag. Um, I
Yep.
do 3D renderings. Most people don't know that
Uh-huh.
about me. And I speak 3 languages. I speak Italian, Spanish, and English.
Wow, dude, that's awesome. Man, I speak English and sometimes Irish English, which people are going, can we have subtitles, please? Yeah, that's awesome. That's
No
cool.
Gaelic.
Yeah, no Gaelic yet. We're learning, but we'll get there. What's on your bucket list? Obviously we're halfway through 2025. It's ridiculous, but is there anything that you're looking forward to this year, or even in the not too distant future, that's kind of driving you on, keeping you going?
I've been trying to find a building and open
Okay.
a fabrication shop, and
Okay.
it's been my dream to have my own shop. And
Yeah.
I did actually give Breton some money in 23,
Okay.
thinking that I was going to be able to open,
Ush.
and I haven't yet. So they still have my money, but
Okay. Well, it's there waiting for you at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. We can hope that you get that building and open up and keep pushing forward. Kind of finishing up here, if you were to give just one piece of advice, if you could give a few words to someone who is thinking about getting in the industry, dreaming of a career in this industry, what's one bit of advice that you would give them?
Stay positive and driven, and the rest will fall into place.
Wow, there you have it. You heard it from Sal. So I thank you very much, sir. This was it was an encouragement to me. I've learned even more about you in this podcast, and I hope others will too. And I appreciate your time for coming on here. I was your host. I'm Merv Campbell here with Sal. Go check him out. Check him on Instagram. He does do awesome swag. I have a few pieces that he handed me at the last event, and they're pretty darn cool. So yeah, hook him up for some of those. Check out the mud events. Check out omnicubed.com for all of your needs for material handling for any tools. And until the next time that I have a new guest on the podcast, I say cheerio. Thank you, Sal, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care.
Having me.
All right, goodbye.